Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
The strength of America, our values, our way of life hasn't just been won on the battlefield. It's won every day in our communities when we come together, extending hands of compassion, service, and hope to those who need it most. For over 100 years, the American Legion has been strengthening communities across our nation by providing life-saving help and support to our veterans and neighbors during times like we're facing today. It's what the Legion's all about. From blood drives to distributing food, from responding to emergencies and protecting the most vulnerable among us. Our mission is making America's communities stronger.
We are one family, and therefore we care.
We are the American Legion, veterans strengthening America. To learn how you can help, visit legion.org.
Good news rarely comes in the middle of the night. Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare. How serious is it? What hospital is she going to? Who should I call? Can I speak to the doctor? What's her roommate's number? What can I do?
Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources customized to your student's campus and local community. Securely linked accounts to share vital data between family members. Digital consent form allowing family to speak with medical staff. Insurance card upload, instantly accessible when you need it. Built-in urgent alert button that notifies linked contacts to send help. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
Your home for the College Football National Championship. WGSX Lynn Haven, WPLQ Port St. Joe.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got to bat.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. On ESPN Northwest
And good Wednesday morning here on the Inside Drive. I didn't know if you're going to play the Jeopardy song in our intro there as we're awaiting Jay Henley's arrival. It's 11 o'clock Monday through Friday. It never changes. Not that I know of anyway. And hopefully he's listening on the way in, but he'll be with us here in just a moment. And if he is listening, he's listening on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the Forgotten Coast. And as I just did, commented there on Facebook. I'm going to try to do a better job paying attention to those Facebook comments. You can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Just search ESPN Northwest Florida. You can go over to the Google Play or the Apple Store, and there you can search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And if you do that, you can download our free mobile app. You can listen to us anywhere that you go. As it mentioned on the intro, we are sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. I can't ask Jay where they're located, but maybe soon. They're at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Lots of new vehicles in stock. Everything is discounted. It's Christmas time. There's only... Nice. Here we go. He's coming. He's wearing some baggy khaki pants today. No pleats, though. Looking good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ryan.
Starts at 11. Glad you can make it. Grab a seat.
All right, we're here. Is it? Oh, the Jeopardy song. All right. Alex Trebek.
I was going to do a Sean Connery voice, but then I couldn't remember if it had potty words or not. And so I had to knock it down. You doing all right?
Was that Turd Ferguson? And
yes.
Yes.
Good,
such a good one.
Good stuff. SNL was fantastic back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure. I haven't watched it in a while. It may still be good. I don't know.
No, I watched it the other night. It was great.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Fresh off the lesson tee?
Yeah, somebody turned the fans off outside. Good
Man,
gracious.
I know. I mean, we've been in this pattern where it's cold in the morning, nice in the afternoon, but the wind usually dies down. Not today. A little breezier out there today.
It'll cut right through you.
Cut like a knife.
Mm-hmm.
But easy.
Easy.
But one of your swing tips of the week was when it's breezy.
Swing easy.
There you go. There you go. 'Cause
Find the center of the face. That's all you
solid
gotta do.
contact is the name of the game, really, in any impact sport, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily wrestling, which is an impact sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, all's good.
How you been doing?
I've been doing good. We had a little practice last night, a little dynasty flag football, and D. Hayes out there on the defensive court. It's so nice to have him out there. I feel comfortable.
Sure.
I feel like I get a little sassier when David Hayes is around.
Yeah.
Like we're trying to set the tone a little more.
I like that then, man. It's fun.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was a good little crossbar challenge at the end of practice, which is always a fun time.
Now, what is a crossbar challenge?
You try to hit the crossbar on the soccer goal that was at the end of our little practice area there.
Okay.
But in football, they do that with the goalposts.
Gotcha.
Crossbar challenge. Absolutely. Do you do anything like that in golf?
I don't think so.
You're just trying to get in the hole every time, right?
Yeah.
Get in the hole challenge.
That's it. That's the name of the game.
There you go. There you go.
Now, there's got to be some times where you're aiming at things, like when Ryan sets iPads up and drills them with a driver.
That's true.
You don't ever have anything like that?
Yeah. That is a cool challenge.
The cart, the picker.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. When I used to do junior camps back in the day, when I was an intern, I used to make one of the cart guys get in the picker and have the little kids hit it around. But then we bring one of the kids into the picker and see how it is.
I did that over
Safety
the summer.
first. The picker's safe.
I mean, that's what they want. They want to be in that picker.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I mean, it's the forbidden fruit, if you will.
Yeah, so to speak.
Yeah.
So to speak. Yeah.
Is there any opportunity to get hurt while you're in the picker?
Unless you got like one of these world
Has it
long.
happened
No,
before?
it's never. And I've been in the golf business my entire life, and I've never seen anybody get hit while inside a range picker.
Right.
It's a steel cage. The front window's that impact plexiglass. It's like glass in a hockey rink.
Nice.
But I mean, I think, if you park the thing, 50 yards in front of a guy that's in world long drive and they punched a 2-iron and that ball speed was coming at 180 miles an hour, yeah, that probably would, but not when you got kids hitting it, the ball's coming off the club face at, 40, 50 miles an hour, maybe.
Now, do you still, to this day, try to hit the range picker when you're hitting balls?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
That never leaves you.
It doesn't.
Never leaves you. I do it at Top Golf.
I was about to say, even at Top Golf. It's I don't even care about my score anymore.
If Top Golf was smart, they would add that in as one of their targets. I mean, they got all this other digital technology that makes it work. Stick some kind of sensor on the picker, and you get some extra points there.
Have a target on top of the picker.
Yes. Yeah. And we're so fortunate at Bay Point because we got guys that actually are cool with it if you're trying to hit them or whatever. But I mean, the club up in Atlanta, I did not hire these people, but we had
caveat.
Yeah, we did, but we had a guy hiring these guys that were grouchy men, and you would get kids out there that would try to hit them.
Are you talking about the guys that run the PGA Tour?
No.
Oh wait, sorry. Go ahead.
Come on. You're talking about Freddie Couples, man. Freddie's not set his piece.
He doesn't run the PGA Tour. I'm talking about Jay Monahan and all these and
Freddie's mad about John Rahm, by the way.
Well, and I get Freddie's point. Like, nobody's going over there because they're trying to grow the game. I'm 100% in agreement with that.
Yeah.
And like Jordan Spieth said with yesterday, he said, I don't think he's going over there for the money. I think he saw two situations. Both aren't great, but one comes with a big old bag of cash. And I mean, any normal human being would probably do that.
Yeah.
Continue your story.
Oh, but
I'm sorry,
these grouchy guys would just, you'd hit missiles at them and they would come.
Scud missiles.
Yeah,
as we used to call it back in the day.
And they would come up, get out of the golf cart, the range picker, and try to pick a fight with these kids. And I'm like, dude, we're just trying to have, just trying to have fun, right? I mean, anyway.
How dare you hit my golf carts?
Yeah.
It comes with the territory.
Right? If you're hopping in that range picker, you know you have now become a moving target.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's the only time in golf you're trying to hit something that's moving.
Yep.
I mean, everything else is still stagnant targets.
Yeah. If you're, let's just say, 50 years old and you're still not trying to hit the range picker while hitting golf balls, you're not living life.
That's true.
Yep.
And you'd probably be better at golf if you try to hit that range.
That's right.
100%. There it is. Golf tip of the week.
Hit the range picker. It's not capped by a certain age.
That's right.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Man, didn't know we were going to be talking about the range picker this morning.
I didn't either.
I'm proud of you for bringing that up. But it's a great point.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
I did the whole back to the live thing, though, Ryan. I just, gosh, I'm still.
I got some
I'm still
updates
hurt.
for that later today, and that may be that there's I think 21 members of the PGA Tour who got with one of the high-powered attorney firms out there or legal firms out there and sent a letter to the PGA Tour Policy Board. We'll discuss that later.
Okay.
We'll talk some other stuff in this first one. And speaking of some other stuff, not counting today, but it's 12 days to Christmas.
Oh, it is.
And I think they made a song about that.
12/13, make a wish.
Yeah.
What happened on the 12th day of Christmas?
I don't know, but my true love gave it to me.
12 swans a swimming?
No. 12 is the one nobody ever remembers. 10 pipers piping, ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming,
6
yeah.
geese a
Once you
laying.
get to 7, it's a walk in the park.
Yeah.
12 is pipers piping. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
David
12 is drummers
drumming. 11 is I don't know.
Geese a laying?
Oh, 11 is, pay attention, David. 11 is pipers piping.
There you go, pipers. 10 is the drummers
10 lords a
leaping. Oh, forgot about the Lords leaping. 9 drummers drumming.
No, that was 12.
That was 12, yeah.
Oh, duh.
Come
9.
on, Jay.
No, that was my bad. Now I know. See, I'm just trying to feel what it feels like.
So what's 9?
Ladies
Dancing.
dancing.
8 maids a milking.
Yep.
7 swans a swimming.
Yep.
6 geese a laying.
Have you ever heard the Pentatonics version of that song?
Oh, Pentatonics.
It's fantastic. It's awesome. All a cappella.
Acapella is great.
I mean,
There's actually
it's impressive.
a group from back in the day called Acapella. Like, that's the name of their band, Acapella, or their group, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, Pentatonics are fun.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, we're going to find out then, buddy.
Yes, the 12 Days of Christmas by the Pentatonics is peak modern Christmas music.
I'll have to check that out.
But yeah, we were talking about the Live Tour. Yeah, so anyway, you've got a lot of good stuff coming up, but we just launched today. We got one of those perfect putting mats in the golf shop.
I've been on that.
And starting now through Christmas, all merchandise in the golf shop is 30% off. If you're looking for that last minute Christmas gift, it's not going to get here from Amazon on time. You want to support local, all these awesome local businesses here in Bay County. You can swing by the golf shop at Bay Point, and everything's 30% off except clubs and balls, of course, because there's no margins in those.
Right.
But you're going to get 30% off. If you make a 5-foot putt in the big hole, you'll get an additional 5%. A 10-foot putt gets you an additional 10%, and a 15-foot putt gets you an additional 15%. So
Nice.
discounts minimum of 30 up to 45% between now and Christmas.
It's like the Price is Right putt-putt game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except we're not giving away cars. I mean, we could probably talk to Chris Kramer and figure that out, but insurance policies matter on that one.
Is Gavin going to have a sign where if they miss it on one, you remember like Bob Barker used to flip the signs like, no, you can do hole in 2.
Yes,
it's like a
hole in
chance.
1 to hole in 2. No, I don't know. But we're pretty lenient when it comes to all of our contests.
Okay.
We like people to have fun in it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. Speaking about good stuff, is your Elite Super 6 series filled up yet?
Well, it's such a hard time of year right now. Everybody's got their minds on Christmas and everything. So I do have a couple spots available. And I just got a couple of people on the, border,
On the
like,
fence.
yeah, on the
Proverbial fence.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we got a great weekend planned. I mean, me and Michael discussed this yesterday, and he's built a plan out for the weekend. It's amazing.
Nice.
Your kid, or you're going to get better. There's no doubt about it. And we're going to talk a lot of on-course stuff, and not a lot of instruction, if you will, but a lot of on-course stuff.
Not a lot of swing instruction.
Right.
Game management,
Yep.
how to shoot lower, how to stay composed, kind of all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And that's the stuff that, obviously your swing, your fundamentals, your technique, all that is very important.
Yeah.
But that needs to be there when you head out.
Yeah.
And when you head out, you got a whole nother circumstance of different things.
Right. And in the Tiger 5, what we talked about, we're going to kind of move that into the weekend as well, and that's what I'm going to try to do is utilize that in my game as well, and try to get better this year coming up, and try to go for another U.S. Open qualifier.
There you go. Yeah. And if you're not getting better, it's always continuous improvement in anything you do in life. And if you're never going to be to a point where you can't get better.
That's right. That's right.
And especially in the world of golf, there's always something you can do, that's for sure. And they can come see you to get I mean, if you don't get a couple more, then great. Then the 4 that are signed up are going to get some serious, awesome instruction going on.
They are. And back to the Super 6 Series is any kid between the ages of 13 and 17 that has played high school golf or currently playing high school golf and has played in a Emerald Coast Junior Golf Tour event, any kind of tour event. I was watching the Nota Begay, the third tournament last night. You know, Charlie's playing that.
Yeah.
What a great tournament that is. I mean, there's qualifiers for that, you know, all over. And
is it tournament or tournament?
Tournament.
That's another one of the above the Mason-Dixon line things.
How do you say it?
Tournament. Now, I've learned to say tournament. It's kind of like when I started saying y'all, I started saying tournament instead of tournament. Mm-hmm. I think it's that Jersey, that Northeast.
Yeah.
Beth brought that to my attention. She's like, that sounds terrible. It's tournament. Like, okay, I can get on board with that. But anyway, go back to Charlie Nota Begay the third.
Oh yeah, but you know, there's so much out there from the junior golf world, you know, and there's qualifiers into these big tournaments, and you know, that's what we're going to try to talk about this weekend is how do we get to the next level? How do we go from Bay County, Florida to a Division II school or a Division I or Division III golf school? And the things that we'll talk about this weekend will definitely enhance their golf experience. And so if you have a child that's in between the ages of 13, 17, wanting to get better, find that college scholarship and get a practice with a purpose mentality, come see me and Michael Shears this weekend at Bay Point.
There you go. They can go to golfwithjay.com to sign up for that. And they've got all sorts of other stuff going on along the break as we are approaching the end of the first half of the school year.
Yeah,
which is
crazy.
Wild that is all just goes faster and faster and faster and faster. I don't know how to slow it down.
It's great. It's like I started coaching Bay High Golf last year, and now I've got 2 seasons under my belt.
You're like a vet at this point.
And it's crazy. And I was thinking about this morning as my freshmen from last year, you know, with the season already being over with for their sophomore season, I'm already looking at them as juniors.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, that felt like yesterday.
I mean, they might as well be graduating at this point. That's for sure. That's for sure. But anyway. Did you see Draymond Green yesterday?
No.
He hit a guy in the face. He claimed it was accidental that he hit him. Ooh. But another wild, I think Jokic got tossed last night too. But hey, your advice that you took from Doc A, he texted me last night and he's like, I hope Jay took what I said this time instead of not, which was good the first time he didn't because it didn't work out. But
I did.
Those cashed, right?
Yep.
End up taking somebody +2, right? And then
2.5.
Did you take the prop bet too?
I never saw the prop bet.
It might have not have been available on that one.
But you know, Dallas had them, had the Lakers down by at least 15 through half and third quarter. And then Lakers, made a run in the third quarter, it seems. But great game last night. And here's my thing with LeBron. I see these prop bets with LeBron, and to me, it seems like LeBron sits out. You never know with LeBron.
It's that load management. He's old.
Yeah, he is.
He's younger than you, but he's older than me. He might be the same age. I don't know. It's close. That 39-40 area.
He's got a kid in college.
Yeah, USC, who's going to be playing Auburn this Sunday up there at Neville Arena.
Nice.
That'll be. I wonder if LeBron will be in attendance.
Yeah,
because Bronny had that cardiac event, and the first game back was like that last game they played. So it was his first points, his first action, and Dad was there. That's for sure. When we talk about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
the dad relationship. But yeah, after the game, Draymond Green said he was trying to sell a foul in that one, but given he's been ejected 3 times so far this year in 21 games, he's long been a wild card, but 2023 feels extremely different. If he's suspended for this particular incident, it'll be the 6th suspension and 2nd of the season. Also, like I said, it also came with Jokic getting booted as well for arguing a call in the NBA. But, I was listening to the Dan Patrick show on the way in, and they were interviewing an NBA guy talking about Draymond, and obviously Steph wants him there. They got him an additional 1-year contract. He's helped them win championships. So, obviously, he's a vital part of that Golden State Warriors organization. But definitely does some things interesting on the court.
What would you do if you were his coach at this point? I mean, what do you do?
Well, that's the thing. It's a tricky situation because he's been with them for so long, and he's really been a vital part of their quote-unquote dynasty and the 4 championships that they won in that period of time. And I don't know. I mean, I think to be honest, I think they know what to expect from him. So it's just kind of one of those things. I don't think they're going to punish. I mean, and when he got in a fight with, and I could be speaking wrong about this, when he got in a fight with somebody on his team, they ended up trading that with Jordan Poole. And Jordan Poole left, and they kept Draymond Green.
Which they traded him after this last season.
Yeah, they kept him for last season, and then now he's gone.
I mean, don't you have to boot this guy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the loyalty thing. We're going to talk about Bill Belichick here in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the news came out that he's going to be officially done after the end of this season, and that decision's been made. I want to talk a little bit about Bill's career as well. But yeah, some good stuff going on. Also, the NCAA Division I volleyball, women's volleyball national championship is down to the semifinals, which will be tomorrow. You've got Nebraska and Pittsburgh on one side and Wisconsin and Texas on the other side. That's going to be both night games tomorrow, 6 p.m. our time, and then 8:30 p.m. our time. National championship will be this Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time. So I don't know if you've watched any of these matches, Jay.
I have not.
You should do yourself a favor because they are intense. The rallies are awesome. High-level women's college volleyball. I don't know if it gets more intense than that.
Yeah.
It's awesome stuff. So it's a huge bracket, just like the NCAA basketball tournament. I think they start with 64 or 32 teams, and it whittles down to just 2 left to play a best out of 5. Do you know what they play the sets to, off the top of your head?
11 or 21, maybe?
Neither.
I'm thinking ping pong.
You're thinking ping pong and playing, what do you play to 11 in basketball?
But you got to win by 2.
Yeah, always got to win by 2.
Yeah.
If anybody plays and you don't win by 2, they don't know what they're doing.
That's right.
What do you play to 11? What's that game called? Knockout. Knockout's a different game.
Yeah. I don't know.
You played Knockout recently?
Knockout.
In basketball?
No. How do you play that?
Have you not played Knockout in your life?
I mean, I play horse, pig, cow.
My dad always used to play turd.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And then when he beat me, he said, "You're a turd."
That's right.
So now, in turn, me and Liam play turd.
Yeah.
But no, you never played Knockout in basketball? Where you all line up at the free throw line, first person goes, if they miss, next person makes it, they're out. You keep going. You repeat that process until the balls hold. Not the ball, but the basketball. That was a scramble.
Son of a gun. I'll have to try that.
You never played Knockout?
No.
David Hayes. Thank God. I was about to have a panic attack.
Oh, yeah.
You've never played Knockout? I used to play Knockout with the kids in the neighborhood in Lindell.
Hey, I'll do that this Sunday.
Where are you going to go do that?
Well, I mean, my son has an ability to bring people together, and
he's an event organizer.
He's almost got the Muv Dog Invitational.
Almost. If you need some tips, let me know.
He's got 10 or 11 kids.
It's about the format. It's also about the food and the entertainment, too.
This is true.
It's the whole thing.
Right.
It's the whole thing. But ask Parker if he's played Knockout before.
I will.
I will be baffled if he says no.
Okay.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Because it's good on free throws, it's good on rebounding, it's good on agility, all that stuff. Right. And competition if you don't like to lose.
Learned something new today.
Man. Yeah. I'm shocked you've never played Knockout.
I know, it's a Georgia boy here.
I don't think that's a statewide thing. We'll go out on some pentatonics.
On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of
104.3 ESPN is above the rim.
Dorsey, splash! Exciting college basketball is back. Tune in every Saturday for the biggest games in college basketball, plus marquee evening matchups during the week. The Round Ball. And it goes for the win! You want it, you need it, and we've got it. College basketball plays here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly cloudy and a high of 64 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the northeast. Some clouds tonight, a moderate breeze and cool near 49. Mostly cloudy and 64 tomorrow. 63 and some clouds with a moderate breeze Friday. Saturday, a mixture of mostly clouds and light showers and a temperature the same at 63. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi, folks. It's Tracy from Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Santa called and he asked me to help everyone get ready for Christmas and avoid the stress and rush. So we've stocked the store and slashed the prices on all diamond jewelry. Whether you're looking for a certified diamond, wedding set, diamond stud earrings, or tennis bracelet, Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the best selection of diamond jewelry you'll find anywhere. And they're all on sale now at 30 to 50% off. From stocking stuffers to extra special surprises, shop where Santa shops. Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
For the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I really should be keeping a notebook of all the things that we've learned about you over our journey since May 1st, and it would be a great notebook.
It would be.
Yeah. A great one, indeed. Like I was mentioning earlier, there's been 21 gentlemen on the PGA, their PGA Tour members, that sent a letter with a big-time attorney. The Sussman Godfrey partners sent. It's not demanding anything yet, but I'll read you this real quick. And, they're not big-time names, but at the same time, the reason why I think a lot of these names are on there is because, they might be on the fence with some Live Tour stuff. But let's listen to that letter here real quick. Jay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to actually let you read it because you have such a good reading voice. But
yeah, I will.
I'd have to send it to you. Or here you go.
He don't got his computer today.
I know.
No distractions.
No distractions. So you can't say, what are we talking about?
Are you still trying to move me towards the Live generation?
No. This has nothing to do with the Live Tour. This has to do with the PGA Tour members being upset.
All right.
So this is the letter that they sent to the PGA Tour Policy Board, which is Tiger Woods and all those guys.
Should I put a beat on and let him rap to it?
Do it.
Dear PGA Tour Policy Board.
Includes Tiger Woods.
Our firm represents 21 members of the PGA Tour who are identified at the bottom of this letter. We will write on their behalf to obtain information about the PGA Tour's consideration of several proposals that will alter the structure of the PGA Tour and have a profound impact on our clients' lives and the livelihoods of hundreds of other tour players. The board has recently received multiple bids by prospective capital partners that will potentially transform how the PGA Tour operates, who controls it, and who owns it. All but a handful of PGA Tour players have been kept entirely in the dark about the prospective transaction. However, it will impact them and what conflicts of interest may impact the decision makers. We demand full disclosure of the details and analysis of any proposals by prospective capital partners, which should be shared promptly with all tour players. We also demand a meeting with the independent directors on the policy board to understand the process that has been followed and will be following going forward. Importantly, we seek assurances that all conflicts of interest will be disclosed and will not be permitted to color the decision-making process. The PGA Tour players who have been kept in the dark about this process are the lifeblood of the tour. They deserve to know what is happening. Sincerely, Jacob Buckdahl. Whoever Jacob Buckdahl
He's the attorney.
Okay, I got you. Very interesting.
Hand me back my computer and then digest that. Do you think that the PGA Tour members are deserving to know what's going on?
I do. So correct me if I'm wrong, but the PGA Tour, these guys are independent contractors.
Yes, they are all members of the tour. Yeah,
They're members
They have
of the
no
tour.
ownership stake in this in the PGA Tour.
All right, so I've mulled over this. I feel like if somebody is offering you a lot of money, and this is going to sound so just straightforward, they're going to want control. There's a caveat to all of this. There's no way that somebody can offer you $400 million to come to a live tour who, there's no kind of TV, there's not a lot of TV, there's not a lot of spotlight, if you will. They're going to want control over you, and there's a lot of things that John Rahm will find out.
Well, it's funny, they gave him control of one of those live teams and ownership stake in that live team.
Okay. All right. But there's going to be other caveats, if you will, later on down the road, in my opinion.
Yeah, there could be. Depends on what kind of contract and details he signed. But
and they've been so independent for so long, that it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The letter does not threaten any immediate legal action, but appears to show at least a chunk of the tour membership has consulted legal advice as the tour's policy board prepares for one of its most significant stretches in existence. The 21 players listed in this letter are tour lifers, including Lanto Griffin, James Hahn, Scott Piercy, former Masters chap Danny Willett, and the lowest ranked, the best ranked one in the world is Ches Reavie, or the least, I don't know what to say, the highest ranked, not high meaning not good, is Ches Reavie at 111, the highest ranked player to sign the letter. I kind of think a lot of these guys on this particular letter are guys that maybe are getting some offers from the Live Tour, and like they're trying to decide which direction to go with their professional life. Hence the letter that's gone. But this happened on Sunday, and I was talking about this yesterday a little bit, and that's what's that company called? It's called the Strategic Sports Group. That's the one I was looking for yesterday. The heart of this letter surrounds the current state of negotiations between the PGA Tour and a pair of high-profile investors. The Strategic Sports Group, known as SSG, and the Saudi Public Investment Fund, or PIF. On Sunday, the Tour Policy Board announced a memo to the players that it had agreed to advanced negotiations with the SSG, a group of blue blood sports investors that currently owns at least 9 professional sports franchises. I think that Falcons owner and a couple of them are involved in that as well. Later this week, PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan is expected to meet with the PIF chief, Yasir Al-Rumayyan, in effort to hammer out the final stage of a separate round of negotiations before the pair's 31st deadline. Do you think something gets done before the end of the year?
Potentially. Yeah, I mean, they're going to try to
answer.
Well, they're going to try to pick up another player, and like Finau's already said no, right? I mean, he's like, I'm not doing it.
But this has to do with the PGA Tour and the PIF and this SSG. Do you think they get something set in stone before the end of the year?
No.
So then what happens?
Yeah.
In your opinion, if they don't, what happens? I'm just curious. Speculation.
Yeah, that is speculation. Well, here's my thoughts. Like, what about all these guys that are in their 35, 40 range? When they turn 45, do they continue on with the Live, or do they eat their words and try to come back and play Champions Tour golf at 45?
That's an interesting spot because Champions Tour, you got to be 50.
I thought it was 45.
No, it's 50.
It's 50?
Yeah, if it was 45, there'd be guys actually wiping the floor with the older guys. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting point, too. Where does the Champions Tour fall into all this?
Yeah.
Phil, who's on Live, he's also played on the Champions Tour. He's won some events on there once he did turn 50. But yeah, I don't know. A lot of speculation, but one thing I do know is we have no idea what professional golf is going to look like next year, specifically on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Wild times. Don't know if it'll ever be the same.
It's probably the guy that you're not hearing a lot of. I think Phil's in charge of all this chaos.
Yeah?
I really do.
Everybody hates Phil.
Yeah.
That's on the PGA Tour.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't hear a lot about Phil. I think Phil's just a puppet for Greg Norman.
Well, he's pulling the strings, and kind of all the stuff he's said is come to fruition. I mean, he's the one that said the PGA Tour didn't have enough money to sustain. They weren't sharing the money the way they should be. And that was a couple of years ago, and look where we are now.
Did Phil get in trouble? I mean, Phil's kind of been in trouble for a lot of stuff, right? Gambling. And, yeah.
What else?
Was there other stuff?
I don't know. You said a lot of stuff.
Oh.
I was just curious what the other stuff was. Just gambling.
Yeah.
Which you did last night. And you won because you listened to Doc A, who's one of the guests on our show. Do you know what also is going on starting right now, Jay Henley?
What?
It's the final stage of Q School.
Ooh.
The final stage, just not down the road, but it's over there in Ponte Vedra at Sawgrass Country Club. Not TPC Sawgrass. This is Sawgrass Country Club. It's a private club, and it's the final stage to see who's going to earn their Korn Ferry, and a couple PGA Tour cards are up for grabs as well. But some names, there's 10 names on there that you might, Kiet Nakajima. You probably don't know that name. I didn't either. He's 23. He's from Japan. He was the world's #1 ranked amateur for 87 weeks. He's trying to get his tour card. You've also got Sam Bennett. You probably know that name, Jay.
I do.
Do you know why you know that name?
U.S. amateur.
Yes, but played the Masters this year. Was kind of in contention a little bit there on Sunday. He ended
Texas
up,
Longhorn
Texas A&M
or Texas
nice,
A&M. Yeah.
Nice. Look at you, impressed. So he's trying to get his card as well. You know this name, Fred Biondi. He was the NCAA individual national champion and part of the Florida Gators national championship team. He finished #2 on the PGA Tour University rankings behind phenom Ludvig Adberg that we've talked about at length. A couple other names you may know. John Pock. Do you remember that name?
Name sounds familiar.
He played for the Florida State Seminoles. He was an All-American, first-team All-American. He was played on the Korn Ferry Tour. He didn't have a great first season there on the Korn Ferry Tour, but he got back in with an eighth place finish on the PGA Tour's Canada season-long cups. Got him in there a little bit. So now he's trying to compete for it. A couple of names you probably don't know, but you know one of the names that's competing in it? We talked to him last Thursday.
Charlie Belgian.
Charlie Belgian. He's been posting on his social media a little bit. He said the wind is gusting about 20 to 25 miles an hour and it's supposed to get worse, and it's supposed to start raining as they progress through this 72-hole grind out there at Sawgrass Country Club, which is a very tough golf course. He used to host a PGA Tour event out there in the past, but yeah, pressure-packed situation in that scenario, that's for sure.
You know, Charlie was talking about a lot of these guys hitting at 60, 70 yards past him. In those conditions, and I don't know a lot about Charlie's game, but knowing what we know, is that going to help him this week or hurt him this week?
I think it's going to help him.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the guys that have the mental toughness, they're going to be successful.
Right.
And I think he's got it.
I think he's got it.
Especially with what he's been through.
Yeah.
And that's certainly going to make it happen.
Well wishes to him. And that's kicking off.
Kicking off today. 72 holes today through Saturday. Q School final stage. That's it.
You know, I can't imagine what it feels like after 72 holes of that right there. I mean, that's got to be just grinding it out, especially in that weather. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, you wouldn't even know what day it is come the end of this deal.
That's the beautiful thing about golf, right? And I mean, it's similar to football to a certain degree, but they all have to deal with the wind. They all have to deal with the cold, the rain. They all have to deal with the same conditions. Yeah. So you got to be able to handle that mentally.
Yeah, you do.
Y'all talk about that a little bit in when you're working with students about conditions and how to stay focused and that kind of stuff. I know that's a little far down the line, but
it is
with these kids that are potentially moving on to play some college golf, whatever it may be, even high school golf.
Sure.
I mean, I take that back. You guys canceled a match when it was sprinkling outside, so maybe you don't have to play in conditions like that. I don't know.
Well, it's teaching. You know, I've learned this through the years. I mean, you think about when you were a kid and you got boo-boo, right? You got a little bit of boo-boo. You fell on the pavement. I mean, what was the first thing that came to your mind whenever you got boo-boo?
When I got a boo-boo?
Yeah.
It depends on what we're doing. Who was around?
Yeah, I mean, I know what I wanted, and I know my mom's listening right now, but I wanted to go straight to my mom. Right?
There you go.
You know, and it's like, how do the pain part of being out on the golf course
I misinterpreted where you were going with that question. That's my bad.
But how do you work through that pain? And you've got to work through that pain right by yourself.
Yeah.
Like you got a caddy, you know. So I mean, that's where that pain.
It goes back to that mental toughness.
It does. It does.
And how big of a competitor do you want to be? That's why I was going to ask the question: what are we doing? Are we playing pickup basketball? Are we playing street hockey? What are we doing? Are we just frolicking around and I tripped on a rock and hurt my knee?
Right.
The situation depends too.
I got you.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great point. Mental toughness is huge, and this is arguably the most difficult test in golf, the final stage of Q School. I don't think you can put more pressure on a golfer in this moment.
That's right.
And then throw crappy weather, a lot of wind on top of it. It can take good shots, make good shots bad. And you've got to be able to recover from that.
And it being this time of year, too, man. I mean, in Jacksonville, it's going to be at best probably 58 degrees.
Volatile. Let's look up the weather, Jay Henley.
And that's I was talking to a student this morning about this. Is like, all right, think about your PGA Tour guys. In January, they're going to be in Hawaii. In February, they're going to be in South Florida. I mean, these guys play in the best conditions all year long outside of the British Open, in July. But I think, to me, golf is a springtime, summertime sport. And
from a recreational standpoint, absolutely. Although I will say fall down here, I think, is my favorite season for golf.
Yeah.
Here.
But what about we want to see these tour guys struggle. Why not? And this is maybe where the PGA Tour is lacking a bit. Come the late fall, why not do something up in, like the Northeast where, it's 40 degrees and cold? I mean, we never see these guys struggle in conditions like we have today.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the PGA Tour, right? Live, PGA Tour, it's all entertainment. Yeah. So they're putting these guys on the best courses. A lot of these courses shut down for months leading up to these tournaments so they can have the prettiest conditions on the TV as possible.
Yep.
They once you make it, they try to make it as entertaining and as nice as possible. And that's like I saw somebody on Twitter or something like that when we were talking about the golf ball rollback. They're like, why don't you just make the fairways tighter?
See, there you go.
Yeah, make the fairways tighter. Make the rough longer. Make it tougher. But that goes against what people want to see.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, that's why I like the U.S. Open so much, and we talked about it this year, is it's arguably one of the toughest golf tournaments in the world.
Yep.
And although I will say this might be tough. But yeah, the weather right now is 63 degrees. It is raining today. It is raining tomorrow. It's not raining Friday and Saturday, but that wind on Friday is a consistent 18 miles an hour with gusts up to 30.
Yikes.
So, and it looks like it changes a little bit. Today it's coming straight out of the north. Tomorrow it's kind of going out of the north to the southwest, and then same thing with Friday, and then Saturday finishes up, but it completely goes to the west. So, But yeah, hey, you got to play in it, right?
Yes, you do.
Golf, got to be ready. Tournament golf anyway, and that's why the Elite Super 6 Series is preparing you for anything out there that you may face, because it is an outdoor sport, and a lot of times you don't get to cancel it if it's just sprinkling a little bit out there.
Yep.
There might have been some lightning, so I'll give you a pass on that one. But when we get back, Bill Belichick's career is coming to an end in New England after this season. We'll talk a little bit about that, a little bit about his accomplishments, and then at the top of the hour, don't forget, we got Keith Fleming, and man, has he been on a heater lately.
Yes, he has.
Keith, let me hold $1. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Inside Drive.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball on the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Bill Bird Kia is giving you holiday savings during the season of giving back. Take your next holiday adventure in a brand new Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at Bill Bird Kia, PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $2,165 per month per 1,000 financed and 48 months. Quality is limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/24.
With
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards in Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
And now the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive. If you don't listen to this in your car riding around Bay County,
you got that right.
Then I'm disappointed in you. Right?
I think of Jamie Foxx every time I hear this song.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Funniest guy ever, in my opinion.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
That is for sure. Before we get into Bill Belichick, your boy Patrick Mahomes apologized for his behavior towards the officials and especially towards Josh Allen. He said, I shouldn't have said that. I was in the moment. And, of course, he's doing the right thing by apologizing. But just wanted to get that out there, too. And also, my boy Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina, he's using his last year of eligibility. He's going to NC State. Ooh. He's going to be part of the Wolf Pack up there. So good opportunity for him to hopefully showcase some of his ability and move up that draft stock. Because we've had a few go in the draft, but nobody ever, I think Isaiah Likely might have been one of the highest ones we've had. We had, what was his name? Tyler Thigpen was the quarterback when I was there. But I think he played a little bit. He played on the Chiefs a little bit as well. Okay. He got drafted, but I don't know how. He might have been unrestricted. But anyway, like to see Grayson McCall maybe get picked in the 5th rounder earlier. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, Belichick. Did you see? Apparently, it's already been decided that he was going to be heading out after the Colts game up there in Frankfurt. Tom Curran of NBC Sports reported that Kraft had already made his decision to make a change after the New England loss to the Colts in Frankfurt. When we came out of the Germany conversations I had that week, the decision was very clear. We were going to play out the string, and at the end of the season, we'd be parting ways for a variety of reasons. So apparently it's been known, it's just now come out to the press and the public that at the end of this season, it will be the last season of Bill Belichick's career up there in New England.
Well, if you had a few words to kind of sum Belichick up, like what comes to your mind in all the years that he's been a coach?
Whew, that's a tough one. Yeah. Obviously a winner, but grumpy. Grumpy's the first word that kind of comes to mind.
That's kind of me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like grumpy is like when he just sore loser kind of guy?
No, he just always looks like Jeff Dunham's puppet. The old guy that's always got the scowl on his face.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he had quite the run. I mean, he built teams around Brady and defensive guys, and he had a knack for finding guys in the draft that not everybody was looking at, and they did successful stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see him on a different if he goes. What do you think? You think he keeps coaching, or you think he hangs it up after this year?
I mean, he's 71 years old is what I'm looking at. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you call it quits? Just go enjoy the rest of your life.
What else do you have to do at this point, right?
Right. I mean, that's my thoughts. Exactly. Play golf.
Play golf. There you go. Golfatj.com. He's been coaching since 1991 at the age of 39. He started with the Cleveland Browns there. He started with the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Cleveland Browns. Oh, that's his first head coaching position there. I'm screwing this up, Jay. Now, he started in 1985 with the New York Giants as the defensive coordinator. Yes, his first head coaching position was in 1991 with the Cleveland Browns. And then in 1997, he went over to the Jets as the defensive coordinator for 3 years. In the year 2000, he came over to New England as the head coach, and he has been there ever since. Do you remember him back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's been coaching since he was 39 years old. Now you got some guys, Shanahan, McDaniel, some of these younger guys in their early 30s that are coaching to see how long. But guys are getting fired left and right. So it's kind of tough to keep that longevity going, that's for sure.
Well, then that's the baby boomers, right? I mean, a lot of these guys, that's Belichick falls right into that.
Some people call it the greatest generation to ever live.
Is that what they're calling it?
The boomers. Yeah, the baby boomers. Absolutely. That's what they call.
Yeah.
Ask boomers, they'll tell you that.
But it's like what we've talked about before. You got head coaches like Mike McDaniel. I mean, how old's Mike McDaniel, you think? Like 34, 35?
Yeah, probably about maybe just a smidge older than that.
Then when you take flights across the country, you got, guys that don't even have, gray hair and they're in the left captain seat. It's a little scary.
You pivoted to airline pilots?
Yeah.
And the plane pretty much just flies itself nowadays.
Well, that's true. That is true.
But yes, while he was his 38, this will be his 39th years. His overall record is 76-72. His career with New England, he's 80-78. Obviously, he had a lot of success there with New England as well. Just in New England, they won the Super Bowl in 2001, 2003, 2004. They were the AFC champions in 2007, the AFC champions in 2011. They were Super Bowl champions in 2014, 2016, and 2018, with one more AFC championship sprinkled in there between 16 and 18. Made the playoffs. I want to say, let's see, just doing this quickly. Since he was with New England, they didn't make the playoffs in 2002. They didn't make the playoffs in 2008. And then it was all the way until 2020 when they didn't make the playoffs. Obviously, Brady was there for the majority of that as well. But you put him up there as one of the greatest coaches of all time?
Yeah, with those stats. Yeah. I mean, that's what I would do at 71. I'd probably just travel around and I'd write a book. I think I don't know if he's got a book out there, but
he might.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, yeah. In the playoffs, he was 44-31.
That's pretty good.
Pretty solid there.
Yeah.
Pretty solid there. 40. No, excuse me. I can't read. 31-13. 44 total playoff games played. Yeah, his overall record in the 29 years. I think I read that wrong before. There's so many stats on this page. It's making my eyes go crazy.
But what was the scandal that he did? Was he part of that scandal?
I mean, you had the Spygate thing where they were spying on the Jets and they got in trouble for that. And I mean, look at Michigan.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything to Michigan. They might. I don't know.
But that wasn't the team, though, with the football where they...
You mean Deflategate?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother one. Yeah.
But that was Patriots, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. They said that the balls were not inflated to the correct pressure, which when you're playing in some extreme cold, if the ball's got a little bit, it makes it easier to throw, in theory. Although last night I couldn't throw it worth a crap.
It's interesting to do with that because the Colts check the air pressure of that football, and if you have an issue with what the air pressure is, you're supposed to take it straight to the league. So that kind of nullified that as well. And then even furthermore, there was only I think one or two balls that were under the correct pressure or whatever, whereas the Colts had 4.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's like I don't know, reaching for straws.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had to lose for some other reason than getting beat by a good football team.
Right.
Yeah, the Manning-Brady matchups were epic, that's for sure. Did you watch any of the Manning cast on Monday night?
A little bit.
It got a little out there with some of the stuff that they were talking about.
It did.
You got to love the Manning cast if you're not as much into the actual football game. I misspoke before. That overall record in 29 years for Bill Belichick, he played 463 games. He was 301 and 162. That's a .65 winning percentage there. Now, you were talking about what he's going to do. Is he going to be done with New England after this year, or is he going to continue coaching? If you've been coaching since 1991 in the National Football League, what else do you know besides coaching?
Nothing. I would become a fan. I would become a fan. I would go to some random, I'd just sit in the stands and get just different views of, because think about that, for instance. He don't even know what it's like to even be a fan of football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I would do.
Did you see him in the Army-Navy game?
Oh, Belichick was there?
Yeah, they brought him into the Pick'em there, and he put the Navy, the old school Navy helmet on. So it was good to see a little candid Bill there.
Yeah,
sure. But, it's going to be weird. He's been the head coach of the New England Patriots since 2000. 23 years ago.
Jeez.
So seeing somebody else on the sideline in for the Patriots is going to be super weird.
Who's it going to be?
That's a whole nother debate. We got to see who gets fired and who doesn't by the end of this season. But Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. But what a career he's had, from coaching, and he's been in the NFL forever. 39 years old, and now here you are, 71, soon to turn 72, doing all that there in the league.
I don't know.
How long have you been teaching golf?
Oh, boy. Yikes. I gave my first lesson in 1999.
There you go.
So, I mean, I'm right there with Belichick, I guess, if you will.
You're pretty much the Bill Belichick of golf instruction.
Unbelievable.
Fair to say.
Golly.
You got 9 more years, you can catch up with him.
Yikes.
How many lessons do you think you've given?
Oh, my Lord. I can't, I don't know. I mean, I've got to.
You can't quantify it.
And that's one thing. 35,000 hours of instruction is what.
35,000 hours?
Is what I'm
Quit
marking.
lying to all the people out there with your marketing. 35,000 hours? 35,000 lessons?
Yep.
Because if you do an hour lesson, now I know they're not all hour lessons. Some are playing lessons. They're longer. Some are clinics and all that stuff.
Sure.
35,000 hours. And how many years?
I mean.
1999?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what? 23, 24 years?
Yeah.
Divided by 24. That's 1,458 lessons a year. It's impressive.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
It is a lot.
And it's doable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's only 4 lessons a day.
I mean, coming in, this counts. I mean, the swing tip of the week, I mean, that's an hour.
That is, no, it's technically 2. It's technically 2. Except on Wednesdays, although you'll be with us here the whole Wednesday today, and we're excited about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. 1,500 lessons a year. It's impressive.
Hey, man.
I like it. Hey.
Yep.
It's just
Hustler of the year.
That's a hustler of the last 24 years.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. But I mean, it's legit. I mean, some lessons you give 8, or some days you give 8 or 9 lessons a day. Some you give 2 or 3. It just really depends on the weather and the time.
In the summer, I mean, gosh.
Yeah, summer, it's just lesson after lesson after lesson. And then you're also doing these, 3 or 4 hour long junior camps and clinics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I say all that to say, like, you live and breathe golf instruction. Bill Belichick lives and breathes coaching football.
Yeah.
And you got to imagine I just don't know if he continues, but if he doesn't continue, I could see him doing some broadcasting stuff and all that. Not that he's got the best personality for that, but from the coaching standpoint and what he knows would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would.
And maybe he uses that personality he had in football and he changes. I mean, he could be a very entertaining guy behind the color commentary or just analysis. I mean, Wayne Gretzky's doing hockey analysis now on TNT.
Right.
So you never know.
Speaking of commentator, who's the guy that was doing that Lakers Mavericks game last night? Because he's got the voice of NBA. That's not Marv. I mean, like, I remember Marv Albert back in the day.
It was probably Harlan.
Okay, I mean, like that is basketball to a T. When you hear that voice, there's no other. No other.
Yep. Marv Albert, that's classic.
Do you remember Marv Albert?
Do I remember Marv?
Yeah.
A lot of New York Knicks games there with old Marv.
He had the voice of NBA, in my opinion.
That's true.
But, yeah.
That's true. Well, there's a whole nother rabbit hole we can go on. Best play-by-play and color commentators of each sport.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Be a cool list.
Who's your golf guy right off the top? Play-by-play.
I gotta go with Nance.
Yeah,
right? Is there another answer?
Mm-mm. Nance is it.
Now commentary, like, because he's the play-by-play, and then you got all these guys all over the course. I always love Faraday.
Yeah,
he got moved to the Live Tour. Gary McCord's good too.
Yeah, Gary.
But yeah,
good.
Jim Nance. He could paint the picture, and he's got some of the best golf calls of all time.
Yeah,
he was on the call when Tiger made the putt. He was on the call when Phil won his first major.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be able to just pop it right out.
You do.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
a lot of pressure.
I saw one where he was at Pebble Beach. He was playing Pebble Beach.
Yes, and he was. Yeah, that was awesome. He was commentating for regular people hitting,
and he nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing.
He's got the gift. That's why he probably gets paid a boat ton of money to do that Masters coverage.
Yeah, but now the Live is changing everything.
I mean, the Masters is still the Masters. It's still going to be on CBS. He's still going to be the guy calling
for
it.
now.
For now, what are they going to move the Masters to the Live Tour?
When Live decides to,
the Live Masters,
when they go across the border in South Carolina and purchase 200 acres of land and try to do a tournament the week before.
I did see that there's a couple of new golf courses opening in Aiken, just north of Aiken, which is pretty cool. And they're big, minimalist golf courses out there in the sand and all that. I had no idea that was coming, and I saw that the other day. It's pretty cool.
Yikes.
It's like Sage Valley. Maybe Live will play the Live Masters at Sage Valley. Which you know the story behind Sage Valley, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of the members that didn't get into Augusta basically gathered up and built their own course.
Weldon Wyatt, who was the one that built all the Walmarts for Sam Walton, and I know we probably only got like 10 seconds, basically wanted to join Augusta National. They wouldn't let him. He claims that this isn't the reason, and then he built, quote-unquote, his own Augusta National, and that's Sage Valley right there in Graniteville, South Carolina. So it's the perfect spot for the Lift Masters.
It's everywhere. I mean, like Tesla, there's a guy right now who got fired from Tesla, and he's starting his own like motor company. I mean, the same thing. I mean, it's crazy, man.
There you go. The guy who started the main designer for Peter Millar went over to Turtleson.
Yep.
When we get back, we'll be joined by Keith Fleming, who's been on fire lately, winning all sorts of cash there on the DFS world. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, partly cloudy and a high of 64 with wind 13 to 17 miles per hour out of the northeast. Some clouds tonight, a moderate breeze and cool near 49. Mostly cloudy and 64 tomorrow. 63 and some clouds with a moderate breeze Friday. Saturday, a mixture of mostly clouds and light showers and a temperature the same at 63. This is your Wednesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bill Bird Kia is giving you holiday savings during the season of giving back. Take your next holiday adventure in a brand new Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at Bill Bird Kia, PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $2,165 per month per 1,000 financed and 48 months. Quality's limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/24.
Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe.
ESPN Northwest Florida, War Eagle.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the first Wednesday in 3 weeks. Jay, you're staying around for the second hour, and I know who is excited, and that is our DFS expert, Mr. Keith Fleming, on the line. Keith, how are you doing this afternoon?
Doing great. How about yourself, guys?
Oh, we're doing good. I know you're doing really good. You've been on fire forever, but this past weekend you were very, 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 very much on fire. And congratulations to all your huge wins.
I really appreciate it. It's nice when you win some cash, obviously, and to win $3,200 on $125 worth of entries.
Wow.
Over a couple of days, not a bad 4-day period.
No, not at all. And I wouldn't. And you gotta take those opportunities to brag about yourself, because you put a lot of work into the analytics and the reasons why you pick who you pick, and it obviously pays off. And we hope our listeners join in and pick what you pick and make some cash as well.
Yeah, definitely. So be sure again to follow my Twitter at Keith Fleming. That's KeithFlemming. You can find all my work there, but every Saturday I send out a tweet with my favorite cash game plays for DraftKings for that week. And, this week it was just absurd how good they were. All three quarterbacks went nuts. It was Purdy, Fields, and Desmond Ridder. I had Drake London on there, DJ Moore. I mean, I believe in told I gave away 15 plays, and 12 of them ended up with the fire symbol next to them. So that is a good week, and I, again, put a lot of work and time into this stuff, but also get a lot of enjoyment out of sharing good plays with the people who do follow my work, and hopefully help them win some cash as well.
Yeah, that's 100%. I mean, that's what it's all about, is helping other people, and that's what your whole goal is, and, you're helping yourself at the same time, which is pretty cool. But you had some things you wanted to discuss before we dove into everything this morning.
I do. Jay, I've missed you, buddy, the last couple of weeks, and I want to preference this with I love you very much.
I love you too, Kid.
I've got to get on you a little bit, my friend, here for some fantasy football no-nos that have occurred in the last week with you. Let's start with, in the Inside Drive League, with a playoff spot on the line. All you had to do was win to get in. Your running back position was empty. You had players on your bench of Josh Allen, Evan Ingram, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, and the Cowboys D, who you bragged about all year long. They scored a combined 90.92 points. If you would have had all those guys in over players that I think you could make a very good argument you should have started anyway, that was a difference of 59.94 points, meaning you would have scored 129.12, won by 4.16 points instead of losing by 50.8, and made the playoffs.
Oh, boy. You've been creeping on my page, huh?
It's not hard. It stuck out like a sore thumb when you see empty next to a slot the week before the playoffs.
Unbelievable.
I didn't know if I needed to, see if you were okay, but then you were on the radio Monday, so I assumed you were doing all right. But, buddy, if that's not bad enough, the real thing that I was very shocked to hear, did you trade Derrick Henry for Jalen Guyton in a cash fantasy football league? The week of the playoffs.
Look here, I was tied and bounded I was hog-tied. You know how you basically get your hands.
We know what hog-tied is.
Okay, yeah, I was hog-tied.
That wasn't the case.
And my head was dunked in water.
You were waterboarded over a fantasy trade.
Yeah, and man, I was fighting for my life, and I had to hit the accept button.
Man, it's tough, dude. Like, I'm going to tell you, I would have murdered you if this would have been
literal
a
murder.
league that, like, literally murdered you. I'd probably be in jail right now and not be able to do, unless they allow you to call in from prison. I'm not sure how that works, but
you get one call a day. You're fine.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I was like, Jay, come on, man. It's bad in a non-cash league, but you're, in the words, I can't say what I want to say, but you're messing with people's money, man.
If I lose to said person in the playoffs and Derrick Henry goes off, yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But I love you. I do, but you can't do either of those, dude. Like, if you're gonna be in a league, got to check your lineups and stuff. I know you're Jay. This is part of your shtick. But come on, bro. And you earned it. You actually had a really good draft. You had a good team. You should have been in the playoffs. And the other one, you just can't ever do that, man.
Right.
I will say, though, that Ryan does deserve a little bit of blame as the commissioner and not seeing that.
That is true.
And,
true.
Basically saying, nah, this ain't going to work. I don't think anybody in the league other than the person who made that trade tied Jay up and waterboarded him.
And by tying up and waterboarding, meaning like, hey, Jay, I need one of your players on your team. Who you want to give me? I'll give you Derrick Henry. And he's like, oh, okay, here, have this person. I'm pretty sure that's how
I
it
will
went
say,
down.
too, if it's that person, too, if they happen to be listening, you don't want to win that way. Like, it's tainted. I'm shocked. I'm as competitive a person as there is, but it's just like, I mean, do you play Madden on the easy level? You know what I mean? Like, you want to win.
Yeah.
What, does he really?
Probably.
Come on, Jay.
If he did, he probably plays on a rookie.
No, I'd play pro.
You want to win with some stakes.
Yeah.
And that's just, it really is. It's stealing. And if you were being waterboarded, I'll give you a little bit of empathy, but it's crazy. I couldn't, but like when Ryan let me know that, I was like, wait a minute, what? Because, I mean, the collusion stuff has been going on in fantasy football forever, but you got to at least make it look somewhat passable. What was so funny was the player traded.
Yeah,
I was like, the person cheating was like, I'm just going to be so blatant. I'm going to send you a person that I don't even know, is Guyton still playing?
I didn't even know who he was, to be honest with you.
For the Chargers. I know that he's like their third receiver, I think. But
wow,
Jay's as shocked as you are about who he traded in this moment. That's where we are right now in life.
And he won't be playing, by the way, if Palmer comes back, which I think he does this week.
Okay. All right, so, I mean, if I want to play next year, and am I invited back?
In the cash league? No.
No.
You have to pay double.
Oh, okay.
That's messed up. You learned a lesson.
No, I think that's no offense. I think that is fair. I mean, the Inside Drive League, of course, you are the Inside Drive, but
okay.
I mean, you got to learn. And I mean, maybe after a year hiatus, if you really want to come back, I think you should be allowed. I don't think it should be a ban, but there's got to be consequences.
Right.
Because, I mean, goodness gracious.
Maybe actually hog tying and waterboarding him out there on 18.
Could be a good radio segment.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Why did they do that in movies where they actually, like, they put a black bag over them and then, why do you have to put a black bag?
It's called torture. And you put the black bag so you don't know who's doing it to you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, isn't it also partly so not all the water goes into the mouth, so you don't actually kill them? Because you don't really want to kill them when you're doing that. You want to.
Keith knows a lot about this waterboarding.
That's from my time as a spy for the American government.
There you go. Right. There you go. But yes, now that we've gotten past Jay's decisions.
Well, I love you, Jay. I do. You're one of my favorite people in the world. But what's the parent saying that always hurts the most? I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
David Hayes said that to him yesterday walking out. So, yes.
I feel so bad because it's like public, not humiliation,
shaming.
But yeah, it's like public admonishment. Like, Jay, you must be better.
It's a good thing you teach golf.
Yeah, right.
Man.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving right along.
Having said that, I'm glad you're here, Jay. I've been very disappointed. I know you had to make money, and that was the only time that guy could do lessons.
Right.
But it was pretty disappointing. Especially 2 weeks ago. It's so funny. The first thing I was going to say is, man, it's glad to have you back, Jay. And Ryan's like, he just left.
Right.
It's all right. We got him this week.
Yeah.
Next week's on the fence?
Yeah, this lesson series go until the first of the year. And then after that, I'm back. I'm back.
You got to make that money. Totally understand.
That's it.
All right, so we do the 5-team Super Bowl deal, Ryan, so I do want to keep up with this.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. My list
I'm not going to edit it this time.
At all.
It's the same.
Oh, you're saying I
No, because remember last time I was jumping in there and messing you up.
I thought you meant your list, and I was like, wait a minute, what? So my top team has not changed. No surprise. San Francisco 49ers. Second, I have those Dallas Cowboys. I mentioned last week they were not on the list. They can be as high as second with a win. Boy, did they ever win. So I have to have them second. I know this is going to surprise some people. I still have the Eagles third, and this is why. Both the Niners and the Cowboys do not have, I would call, easy schedules the rest of the way. The Eagles' schedule, if they can get by this game this week, is about as easy as it can get. And if the Niners or the Cowboys lose one more game, Cowboys got a tough game with the Bills this week, the Eagles could still end up with that number one seed, the bye. Obviously, you got to go through Philly. I think one of the toughest places to play. And I just think the NFC is not as wide open as the AFC, to where those are the three teams that are going to win the NFC, and it would be a huge advantage if you had said home field advantage. So the Ravens are fourth. Not the most impressive win this past weekend, but a win is a win. A little worrisome how well the Rams were able to kind of throw on that defense that we thought was pretty stellar, and they didn't look quite as good as we had, hoped. And then we got the Miami Dolphins for me rounding out fifth, and that is, again, just because they have a very good chance to end up with the number one seed. And I would not want to face that Miami team if they are at home, especially with getting a bye to let all their guys rest up. I mean, with A-Chain and Hill and Waddle, and they're explosive as explosive can be on offense. So that is, as of week 15, my top 5. Ryan or David, who wants to go next?
And we got to get Jay's top 5 since now
Yeah,
he's
that'd
here
be
on
fun.
Wednesday. But yeah, I'll go next. Obviously, I'm going to put my 49ers again up on top. I think, if they take care, but like you were saying, between the Niners, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, the Niners have the second most difficult or the second easiest, however you look at it. The toughest game they've got coming in is the Ravens, and that's on Christmas Day at home. So, but the Eagles and the Cowboys, if the Eagles win out and the Cowboys win out, the Eagles get that second seed because of that, and if the way their schedule works out.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, if the Eagles win out and the Cowboys win out, they will hold the better conference record, which will give them the number 2 seed. So that's why I'm gonna put the Eagles at number 2.
Cowboys can't catch a break, man.
Yeah, for that reason. And now the Eagles could slip up and lose another one, but I think every team they're playing the rest of the way is under 500. And to their credit, they just
Dallas
went through.
has got a tough schedule too. Though.
Dallas has a very tough schedule going through. So yeah, I'm gonna put the Eagles number 2. I'm gonna take the Ravens at number 3. Still is where I had them last week. I'm gonna put the Cowboys at number 4, and then the Dolphins at number 5. So a little bit different than I had last week. But yeah, the AFC is just so wide open. I personally believe that the Super Bowl winner this year comes out of the NFC.
Do you think the Browns, like for instance, are still a legit contender?
Yeah, Joe Flacco, anxious to see how they look this week, but with that defense, they are definitely a legit contender. I don't know if, Jacksonville is a good team, but I don't know if they're a legit contender compared to the Ravens when we're talking about likely chances to win the Super Bowl. And then, of course, you can't count the Chiefs out, but the Chiefs got a lot of issues that they got to get figured out.
Or the Bills, if they can fight their way into it. I think
Bills
a
are.
lot of people are kind of forgetting about Buffalo.
We talked about it yesterday, the top, the odds to win the Super Bowl. And if I remember correctly, the Buffalo Bills had the 7th best odds to win the Super Bowl, despite being the 11th seed in the AFC right now, because a lot of that's going to shake itself out. David, you want to go?
What team would you want to play less, right? Like, to me, in the AFC, because they're so good offensively, they might be the team that I would be most afraid to play in just one game in the entire AFC. Because I think their offense is going to score, whether it's home, on the road, like no matter what.
Yeah, and if things shake out and the Chiefs aren't necessarily in the Bills' way, if that shakes out that way, that could be the Bills seeing this huge opportunity to not get stuck by them again one more time in the playoffs. So, yeah, the Bill, I definitely wouldn't want to play the Bills. I'd rather play the Dolphins than the Bills. Me
too.
Yeah, so. All right, David Hayes is going to go next, and then Jay, Lord knows what he's going to say for his top 5.
And we get to see a little bit more about those Bills this week against the Cowboys, and a little bit more about the Cowboys as well. I think I had the Ravens. I don't remember what my top 5 was.
You had Ravens, Niners, Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins. Thanks to Keith for keeping these shared Apple Notes.
Sweet. So it hasn't changed that much then, and I'm going to keep this paper, and I'll keep track of mine moving forward. But thanks to Keith, so I don't even really have to do this, and I'll more than likely misplace this paper somewhere. So this is perfect. But I'm going to keep the Ravens at the top. I love what Lamar Jackson is able to do. Tylan Wallace keeping the win streak intact for the Baltimore Ravens. But to lose your top target and Mark Andrews and now Odell Beckham Jr. is emerging a little bit form. Zay Flowers is starting to play. It's starting to become kind of that young number 1 that Lamar's been seeking for a long time over there. So I'm keeping the Ravens up there at the top. Next, I'm going to take keep the 49ers there in second place. I think that they're the strongest team in the NFC, but they're still the Eagles, even though they lost to the Cowboys. That doesn't change very much for me because one game isn't going to change a whole lot. And we've already seen the Eagles beat the 49ers, however, or not the Eagles beat the 49ers, but the Cowboys. But we've also seen the Cowboys beat the Eagles. The Cowboys looked a lot better in their loss, though, than what the Eagles did last Sunday Night Football. Third, I'll have the Eagles. Fourth, I'll have the Cowboys. I believe if they played again the next
favorable. It really, I like the home team anytime that the Eagles and the Cowboys are playing for the rest of this year. So if they meet again in the playoffs, I'll take whoever's at the house. And then again, I know that we're blowing up at the Chiefs, but all it takes is the receivers to catch the ball, and I'm going to take the best quarterback. He can blow up all he wants to, whatever. Not making excuses for that. I love that he came back and made those things as right as he possibly could. We got to give a little grace. I mean, it's not often that we're seeing Patrick Mahomes acting that way, but I got the Chiefs in 5th, man. I'll take the Chiefs over the Dolphins 10 out of 10 times when we're playing for a game that matters.
Yeah, game that matters is the key there, especially with their playoff history. The Dolphins have not been there, and the Chiefs have been there the last 5 or 6 years. All right, Jay, where are we going with this?
Oh boy. All right, so
first of all, we learned yesterday, Keith, that the AFC teams do in fact play the NFC teams during the regular season.
Amazing.
What?
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah,
that needs to go in the notebook. That's one.
In the Major League Baseball, Jay, the American League plays the National League too.
Yeah, that's
They used to not, though, right?
They didn't.
Yeah, just very sparingly. They didn't play at all, and then they would have like one series. They would have like your interleague series, and then it would be a couple of series, and now you play every single team in Major League Baseball.
Jay, being the big Cubs fan that he is, he got confused with baseball and football.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Makes sense.
I think it obviously comes down to injuries, and 4 weeks from now we're going to figure out who's obviously injured, who's not injured. If today,
it's just for this week.
Just for this week.
That's what I'm saying. We're saying you can change week to week.
Yeah, we updated each
that's
week.
Right now. Yeah.
And I'm not saying this because Ryan's in front of me, but there's no way anybody beats the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they're playing unbelievable
There's a
football.
jinx if you've ever seen one. Sorry, Ryan.
No, it's okay. I think the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Niners are all somewhat interchangeable right now.
Yeah. So I got 49ers 1. I'm gonna go with Cleveland Browns number 2. I mean, I want to.
Big Flacco, man.
Yeah, I want to see them win the Super Bowl. That'd be fantastic. Number 3, you got to go with the former Super Bowl champions from last year, Kansas City Chiefs. Number 3, you got to go with Mike McDaniel with the Miami Dolphins. Love to see him in the Super Bowl. Want to hear more interviews from him because I think he's a character and a half. These are all entertainment, type deals.
Yeah, that's what we expect.
And then number 5, who would be entertaining in the Super Bowl? Let's go the Eagles. Everybody hates the Eagles for some reason. Let's see the Eagles make it to the Super Bowl.
You know who doesn't hate the Eagles?
Caveman Rick.
Eagles fans.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
And that's partially why people hate the Eagles, is Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
And they're winning, and they've done well.
They have.
Usually people hate people at the top. Hey, Keith, we got to take our first break, and I see you updating it. So you got all the J's there. You got everybody's. Look at that. All right there. We'll pip it over to next week. But at this time, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we get back, it's time to jump into Keith's DraftKings plays for week 15, Jay. Woo, 15.
Yikes.
That's the quickest 15 weeks of my life. We'll be right back.
Take ESPN Northwest Florida with you everywhere you go.
Anytime, any place, anywhere.
The sports talk and live play-by-play doesn't have to end when you get out of the car. The ESPN Northwest Florida app streams your favorite sports talk hosts and the biggest games in ultra-high fidelity.
This is of utmost importance in travel.
Take the sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Wednesday. Some clouds the remainder of the day with a moderate breeze at 15 miles per hour coming out of the northeast, and look for it to be 64. Tonight, there will be some clouds with the temperature reaching 49. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with a high of 64. Friday, we'll have a high of 63 and some clouds. This weather is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Krispy Kreme is releasing more delicious fall flavors. You're probably asking, hey, didn't Krispy Kreme already release fall donut flavors? The answer is yes. However, Krispy Kreme has 3 new flavors you've never tasted before. Caramel pecan brownie, classic blackberry crisp filled, and the cinnamon latte lovers donuts. All new and waiting on you at Krispy Kreme Donuts in front of HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Have a quick stretch first.
The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
Must have pulled something playing hoops last week.
And Jay Henley.
I know you're not putting that rock up from here. You ain't got no Jay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got Keith Fleming on the line, who cleaned up last week. He cleaned up in golf all year, and we'll be getting golf going here in a couple weeks, depending on what the PGA Tour schedule actually looks like. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But here we are, and if you paid attention last week, you probably won some money as well. And here it is. It's Keith's plays for Week 15. Where are we starting, Keith? Quarterbacks?
Actually, real quick, I want to give a shout-out to my wife for finishing with the best record in the Inside Drive League.
You almost skipped over that.
Even more so, I tried to get her to take a dive, full discretion, this week because I needed to beat her in order to get in the playoffs, and she wouldn't do it. So I appreciate her competitiveness and wish her good luck, and especially Travis, who I plan on destroying the next 2 weeks in this. It's 2-round playoffs, right?
It is. Semis and then the finals. Yep. You left out that you made it as well.
Right. Well, and a big congrats to Travis, by the way, for also making it. But I feel like my team is peaking at the right time. That Cooper Cup first selection's looking a little better after it looking pretty rough all year. But it's been a lot of fun, and I do seriously mean that I am excited to be in the Champions League next year.
You and Brittany in the Champions League next year.
Scary stuff.
And Travis.
You'll have to come down for the draft again.
And Gavin, our head pro out there at Bay Point, who beat Liam by
I didn't know the other one. That's what I was wondering.
3 points on the heels of D-Hop there.
Wow.
Now, if Jay Henley would have done what you said earlier, that whole 7-7 tie would have not mattered because Jay would have been 8-6, and then he would have went into a tiebreaker with Travis, and Gavin potentially would have. That would have completely. Now I'm getting really upset, Keith.
Are you?
That would have completely changed what transpired in the Inside Drive League had he just won, because he would have been 8-6, Travis would have been 8-6, everybody else would have been 7-7. But yeah, no. Anyway, let's jump into it. I don't want to beat that dead horse. I know Jay is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
This week for DK Week 15, which really does depress me, but that's to talk about another day. My expensive QB, give me Justin Fields, $7K at Cleveland. I feel like he is still not being priced high enough. Do you guys know over his last 17 games played, he's thrown for over 3,000 yards, 25 passing touchdowns, over 1,200 yards rushing, 8 rushing TDs, so that's 33 touchdowns in his last 17 games. And the big thing, QB rating of 92.3. I so hope that the Bears end up trading him, and my Falcons are the team that pick him up. I think Atlanta would be the perfect spot for Justin Fields, who I still highly believe in. But he is just a fantasy cheat code. He is a cheaper version of Jalen Hurts. 24 points scored on DK in 4 of his last 5 or more in that span. And this is why I love him. 314 rushing yards, 10 passing touchdowns. At 314 rushing yards, that's 31.4 points just running the ball. Those are free points at the QB position. I know Cleveland is technically a tough matchup, and they are, but for a fast, athletic defense, what's the scariest thing for them? A fast, athletic QB. I expect him to run a lot versus this Cleveland defense and what should be a competitive game. My favorite play of the week, by far at QB, median, Matthew Stafford. He's only $6K. He scored 20-plus points on DraftKings his last 3. In that span, 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. He has had his 3 highest scoring games each of the last 3 weeks. And 2 of those were against good defenses in Cleveland and Baltimore last week. This week he's facing Washington, who in their last 4, Geno Smith, 369, 2 touchdowns. Tommy DeVito, 246, 3 touchdowns. Dak had that monster game, 331, 4 touchdowns. Tua threw for 280 and 2 touchdowns. And on the season, they give up almost 280 yards per game through the air and just under 2.5 passing touchdowns. I don't think you can go wrong with Stafford this week. I'll get into, why I like Kupp as well in a minute. But the value, Jay mentioned him earlier, give me Joe Flacco. He is 5,500 and his 2 starts scored. And I can't believe it's 2023. And
That's wild. We're talking about Joe Flacco.
42.5 points. He scored 17.2 in his first game, then upped it last week to 25.3, and then he's got 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Not only is Flacco, a DK possibility this week, what's wild is there are teams in the playoffs that I'm sure has picked up Joe Flacco, and if you don't have one of those top, say, 5, 6 QBs, who do you trust more? I mean, the Browns have really good weapons. We've been talking about this forever. I also just think it would be hilarious if they, went on to win the Super Bowl with Joe Flacco, and then they still owe Deshaun Watson like $280 million the next 5 years. That would be karma both for Browns fans, who I still root for the Cleveland fan base, but, I'm not a very big fan of Deshaun Watson. So the running back position, expensive for cash games especially. Your boy CMC, 9,300. His streak of 6 straight games of scoring 20-plus points was snapped versus Seattle last week. He scored 19.3 points. He's rushed for 100-plus yards on the ground 3 of his first 4 games this season. But then he's gone 6 straight weeks after that without it. And now all of a sudden, since the bye, he's broke 90-plus rushing yards in 4 or 5, eclipsed 102 of his last 3. I wonder if maybe he was a little banged up, which tends to happen with the back CMC side. I think he's healthy now, and this week he faces an Arizona team that he had by far his biggest game of the year versus earlier this year. He had season high in receptions, receiving yards, and of course had that 4 touchdown monster game. The median back, Rachaad White, $7K at Green Bay. He is Mr. Consistency on DraftKings. Just automatic points week in and week out. 15.9 points or more in 8 straight. 17.8 points or more in 6 of 7. In that span over his last 8, averaging, because what we talk about all the time, guys, volume is king. 16.4 carries per, 4 receptions per game, 4.5 targets, and 6 touchdowns. And he's facing a Green Bay defense that they kind of funnel to the run. That's why they're so bad against it, but that is their philosophy. That's good for Rachaad White. They're 26 versus running backs on DK. The value, if Jerome Ford is out, I really like Kareem Hunt at 4,900. He's had 10 or more rush attempts in 10 of 11 games. He scored 7 touchdowns in his last 9. If Ford does end up playing, I like going all the way down to Jerick McKinnon. Don't look now. It's that time of the year for fantasy owners that have Pacheco or whoever the Chiefs running back is, for McKinnon to come in and just do what he does, which is just vulture touchdowns. He scored a touchdown in 2 of his last 3. New England is a very stingy defense. They're a bad football team, very stingy defense. I could see McKinnon being used a good bit in the passing game, and he does. Even when Pacheco's played, he's used in the red zone a good bit. The wide receiver, expensive. Again, slam dunk play for me this week. Cooper Kupp, 7,800. He appears to be healthy and ready to lead teams who made the playoffs with him to hopefully championships in fantasy football. Had 14 receptions on 18 targets his last 2 weeks. He scored a touchdown in both of those games. In the previous 5 games, he only had 12 receptions on 30 targets. So you see the huge uptick in both receptions and targets. And again, this Washington's defense is so bad versus the pass. Just against wide receivers, they allow almost 13 receptions for just under 200 yards and over 1.5 touchdowns per. Kupp has 3 20-plus point games and 9 starts this season. I would be shocked if he doesn't hit that number again. I did not include Puka in my plays, but if you want to play Puka, I don't have any hate against that. I actually don't even hate if you want to do the double stack of Stafford, Puka, and Kupp because Washington is just dreadful versus the pass, and I think that game's going to be a shootout.
They are last in the league in points allowed. Worse than the Carolina Panthers.
They're awful. Now, I will say the Panthers helping them out as they play the Falcons, Saints, and Bucks twice, but, I guess they play the Giants twice. So the median play, Rashee Rice, 6,100 at New England. Over the last 3 weeks, let's look at Rice and Kelsey. Targets, Rice 29, Kelsey 22. Receptions, Rice 23, Kelsey 16. Target percentage per route run, 32% for Rashee Rice, only 20 for Travis Kelsey. If you took Rice's averages over the last 3 weeks, made him into a full season, that'd be 130 receptions, almost 1,400 yards receiving, and 11 touchdowns. The Chiefs may have finally found that number one receiver. He's hit the 3 times number of his price 2 of the last 3. He scored a touchdown in 2 of the last 3 games as well. And what I love is his price has only risen $600 despite being, in the last 3 weeks, despite being now, you could argue, Kansas City's number one target. The value, another guy that will be in just about every lineup this week for me, Jaden Reed, 4,900 versus Tampa. I like to dub him Discount Deebo Samuel. Since week 9, 28 receptions, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns in the passing game. He's had 10 carries for 121 yards in the ground game with 2 touchdowns, 14.4 points per game. That would be wide receiver number 15 overall since week 9. 11 points or more on DK in 6 of 8. 15 points or more in 4 of 5. He scored a touchdown in 4 of 5. This guy is a real stud, and I am shocked his price is still all the way down at 4,900. Tight end position, expensive. Give me Njoku, 4,700 for Chicago. Double-digit points in 7 of 8 on DK. 6+ targets in 8 straight. 8+ targets in 6 of 8. 4+ receptions in 7 of 8. 6+ receptions and 4 or 5. And this is despite playing with 4 different QBs in that 8-game stretch. Chicago is 22nd versus tight ends on DK. And again, I'm kind of surprised at his price. His price has only gone up $700 from what he cost week 10, despite this huge volume and the wasteland position that is tight end. Probably my favorite play at tight end this week, though, is the median Logan Thomas, 3,700 for the Washington Commanders at the Rams. I think this game's going to be a shootout. He's coming off back-to-back just dreadful performances. 2 of his lowest scoring games of the season in fantasy. I think that could lead to lower ownership. That will be a mistake. The Rams cannot cover tight ends. They're 29th on DK. In their last 2 games, Njoku last week, 6 for 91, 2 touchdowns. A week before, McBride, 7 for 60. I think Logan Thomas catches at least 5 passes. And again, at 3,700, you're looking at, what would that be? 8 points. And you're golden. So not a big deal there. The value, Chigo Okonkwo, 2,900 versus Houston. In his last 3 games, 30% of his receptions on the year, 28% of his targets, 43% of his receiving yards, and 44% of his DraftKings points on the season. He set a new high in DK points in 3 consecutive weeks, and he's facing the Houston Texans that only my Atlanta Falcons are worse, in my opinion, versus tight ends. They allow over 9 targets, 6.7 receptions, and 64.5 yards per game. The flex position, again, another Rams player, Kieran Williams, 7,500 versus Washington. He scored 17 points or more on DK in 7 of his 9 games this year, 20+ points in 5 of 9. Among running backs, despite only playing 9 games this season, he's first in snap share, there's volume. 7th in rushing yard, 3rd in touchdowns, 2nd in fantasy points per game, 3rd in route participation, 6th in true yards per carry, 9th in juke rate, and 1st in dominator rating. And he's almost 2K less than CMC, who I talked about, who I like so much this week. The median play, Garrett Wilson for the New York Jets, 5,800 at Miami. He scored 17 points or more in DK in 5 of 8. And since the bye, that's 7 games. He's averaging almost 12 targets per game, 11.9. Volume is king. 6.28 receptions per, over 70 yards, and just under 15 points per game on DK. He scored 17.4 points in his first matchup versus this Miami defense with Tim Boyle at QB. So I really like Garrett Wilson this week. In the game, I expect the Jets to be down. And then the value, give me Michael Wilson of the Arizona Cardinals, 3,300 versus San Francisco. You want to make sure he's good to go. He's missed the last couple of weeks, but it appears that he's trending in that direction. He's had 3+ receptions in 6 of his last 8. His biggest game of the year by far was versus the San Francisco 49ers week 4. He had 7 targets, caught 7 passes for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would only need 9.9 points to hit that 3 times number that I'm obsessed with for trying to cash in DK games. And I think he is a monster, like potentially monster play in a game I expect Arizona to be down. And he's got a huge upgrade at QB. You got to remember, he had Josh Dobbs throwing to him last time. No offense to Dobbs. Kyler Murray, a much better passer of the ball. I love Michael Wilson, and to actually a little bit more expensive Marquise Brown, and of course Trey McBride as well. All 3 of those guys, probably one of them should be in your lineup this week in a game I expect them to be down and throwing often.
Yeah. Whew. Jay, you got all that?
I do.
Recap.
Go with Keith. whatever he goes with, because he obviously made some money this past week.
Absolutely. And Keith, as we get closer to the end of the season, I know we've talked about it before, but we've got most fantasy football leagues are going to have 2 weeks left to go, but DFS lives on, that's for sure. What are some of the things to look out for as playoff spots start getting clinched? And some teams need to make the playoffs, some teams may not. So what are some of the things that you're doing DFS that you might want to look out for on these last few weeks as the season comes to a close, which is very disappointing?
Well, believe it or not, one of the biggest is just to read as much information as you can on teams. And, I have like a reporter, for instance, that I have flagged on Twitter for every team in the NFL that I check and see, is there reports of they may sit this player or they may rest these guys or this person would be in line for a bigger percentage of the rush attempts or the receptions if so-and-so ends up missing because they are resting them. The other thing is just to, remember that we will be doing lineups all the way through the Super Bowl. One of my favorite weeks for DFS and on DraftKings football is Wild Card Weekend because you have 8 teams to choose from, but it's like not a full slate, but it's a little smaller than even your normal Sunday slate with the buys. And I've had some of my most profitable weeks ever during that. The divisional round, it gets a little tougher. We'll be doing probably mostly showdown lineups for the Super Bowl and maybe even the conference championship. But there is, I think, some real opportunities to win some money as these things get smaller because, remember, you want to just figure out which game is going to have the most points scored. Which game do you think is going to be a shootout? And from there, you want to just pick guys from that. That's what I did on Monday night, and I actually had a pretty good night as well because I kind of knew that Barkley was going to have a big game. That was all the Giants really had. I used DeVito, which a lot of people didn't, and then was all over guys like Hopkins and Okonkwo and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's December. And that means the weather is getting very volatile. And you mentioned that a lot last week with your picks. And, that's certainly one of the things you really got to pay attention to as well. And like you mentioned, who's going to get the starts, where the injuries fall into play. But, your DK stuff, you got to be ready to make that change if you've got somebody in there. So you got to be scouring your stuff right before in the Eastern time zone, that 1 o'clock time, so that 12 o'clock here. Jay, I know you pay attention to that very closely.
Right. Yep.
Bingo. One more time, Keith, let everybody know where they can find out all your valuable information. You do all the research, all the work. All they got to do is pay attention to you, and that's how it works.
He's talking to you, Jay Henley. You can find my work both on Fantasy and Frames. Be sure to follow them on YouTube. That's Fantasy in Frames, and same for Fantasy Six Pack. And then all my information is on my Twitter /X handle. That's at Keith Fleming, KeithFleming. And I always do, like I said, the cash game plays I do on Saturday have been really successful last couple of weeks. That's only a day before, so I've had an entire week to read and digest a ton of information. So I would definitely check that out if you're doing lineups. And you can ask several people, including Ryan himself, that if you reach out to me and have questions, I am more than happy to help you build a lineup. There's about 5-6 people now that every week they will send me their lineups, ask my thoughts, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'll just tell you what I think, and Not saying I'll always be right, but I can promise you if I have an opinion on somebody, it will be backed by data.
Yeah, and you were spot on when Liam did a full one and put C.J. Stroud at the top. He's
How
like,
do you have won so much money that week?
I love this lineup except for C.J. Stroud, and C.J. Stroud was a dud. But Liam's like, oh, well, maybe he gets a little too big for his britches and doesn't want to listen. So he'll listen next time, that's for sure. Keith, we appreciate your time and look forward to seeing how you do this week and chatting again next week without Jay Henley. So tell Jay bye, and we'll talk soon.
Bye-bye, Keith.
I'll miss you, Jay. We'll talk soon.
All right, man.
Absolutely.
Take care.
You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We're back for our final segment of this Wednesday afternoon.
Set your alarm clock to wake up with the Coach Hales Show on ESPN Northwest Florida. In-depth local and college sports from expert insiders and a dash of controversy.
Can be deadly.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9.
Nothing says good morning like a drunken human alarm clock.
You're live from the J. Michaels studio.
We all know he loves the Florida Gators, but that's okay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I can control the world.
Kitchen Designs Group on Front Beach Road, Panama City Beach, offers full-service kitchen and bathroom cabinetry, countertops, and flooring. Plus, they also offer cash and carry. Take your cabinets home today. All-in-one vanities on sale. Cabinet, countertop, trim, and faucet included. The more you buy, the more you save. Must take standard sizes in Shaker White. Call Kitchen Designs Group, 850-775-4150, or visit their website, kitchendesignsgroup.com. Cash and carry only applies to Shaker White.
Bill Bird Kia is giving you holiday savings during the season of giving back. Take your next holiday adventure in a brand new Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at Bill Bird Kia, PanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2023 Kia Sorento with $2,165 per month per 1,000 financed at 48 months. Quality is limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/24.
The locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. You watch Woodstock 99 yet?
No, but I feel like I'm in an 8th grade history class right now listening to that right there.
You guys listen to
Nirvana
in history class?
Well, I'm just saying I feel like I'm in 8th grade again.
But you were specifically referenced your history class.
Oh, yeah. Just sneaking in a little Waltman.
Yeah, a little jamming out to Kurt.
Yep.
While listening to it all makes sense now. It all makes sense. But yes, don't forget, if you're a realtor out there or you're buying a house or selling a house, there's only one title company you choose. And which one is that, Jay?
Berg.
And that's Berg Title. You choose them because they are local right there in downtown Panama City. But they have great accuracy, communication, and problem solving, which is very needed in the real estate world because no deal goes smooth. That is for sure. They close with care. They'll come to you to fit your client's needs. They'll schedule mobile closings, notaries, and more. Give their office a call, 850-250-2900. Give Crystal Whiteley a call, and a huge shout out to Crystal Whiteley. She got engaged yesterday. So congratulations, Crystal, on your engagement. We are excited to see what the future holds. Great girl. Ken's an awesome dude. Got great kids. Looking forward to. We've had one of her kids in studio with us. He played football. Yeah,
South
Alabama. Were you there that day?
No, I was not. I was listening in.
So you could listen, but you couldn't be here in person?
That's right.
That's confusing.
Yep.
Anyway, we were talking about some stuff. We're going to play a little game here Jay Henley. And it has to do with fantasy sports.
Okay.
Because we were just talking to Keith Fleming, who's the DFS expert. And he reprimanded you a little bit in the beginning of the show, but it's all in good fun. It is what it is,
It's all
right?
fantasy. It's fantasy world.
That is true.
Yeah.
Except there's real cash on the line. And cash is not fantasy.
Right.
It is a fiat currency that's not backed with actual stuff that's worth money. It's just paper. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about the highest scoring fantasy players in different positions, weeks 1 through 14. So through week 14, who do you think has scored the most? We're doing this on total. It also has to do with average. Who do you think, what quarterback has scored the most total fantasy football points?
Yikes.
I'll ask David after I ask you too.
Okay. Let's go Brock Purdy.
No.
Dang.
He's 5th in total fantasy points, which is a little bit surprising at the QB position.
My homies.
My homies? Oh, Patrick Mahomes? No, he's 7th.
Dang.
I know.
Dak Prescott.
No, but Dak Prescott is 3rd.
Josh Allen.
Yes. 4th time is the charm. I was trying to, because you're a big Buffalo Bills fan now.
Right.
So Josh Allen, yes, he's averaging 24.7 fantasy points per game. This is based on PPR leagues. He's got a total of 321.3 points. That running, that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Who's second? David Hayes, who's second? Quarterbacks.
Lamar.
No, Lamar is 4th behind Dak. But another similar style quarterback.
So many injuries.
He's my quarterback on the Bay Point Ballers League. He's been very helpful.
Jalen.
Bingo. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, Sam Howell, Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love coming in 9th, and Justin Herbert rounding the top 10 of quarterbacks and their total fantasy points scored so far through week 14. All right, this is a layup for you, Jay Henley. Running back position. Who has scored the most points in fantasy sports in the running back position? I'm tossing it up to you. You've never played knockout, so you hadn't had to get the rebound and get the layup in before the guy shoots behind you.
True.
Layup.
Man, I don't have a clue.
Man.
I don't.
It's a layup. I'm giving you subliminal clues here. Go ahead, David. Give us the right answer. Yes.
Christian McCaffrey.
Bingo. CMC. Certainly a layup. Surprising, number 2, your favorite coach's team.
Okay. Dolphins?
Yes. Don't say Tua because he is not a running back. We saved you there. But he is on the Dolphins. We'll see what you got here.
Waddle.
Raheem the Dream.
Yes, Raheem Mostert. Jalen Waddle plays what position?
We're talking running backs.
Yes, which I just told you not to say Tua because I said we're talking running backs.
Okay, I got
And
you.
then you went with the Penguin.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle. You can't make this stuff up, kids. It just happens right here live on the air. Who's number 3rd on this list?
Number 3rd.
Just trying to be like Jay.
Let's see.
It's another Florida team.
Jacksonville.
Played at Clemson.
ETN. Yeah.
That is good.
I'm
stuff there, Jay.
Sometimes you surprise me on both ends of the spectrum.
Right.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Makes my life very exciting. Number 4 on this list, Collusion.
Derrick Henry.
Bingo.
Yep.
The 4th best running back scoring point total in fantasy football. You traded for, I don't even know the guy's name again, Guyton.
Jalen Guyton, yeah.
A practice squad player. Number 5, Kyron Williams. Number 6, Joe Mixon. Number 7, Rashad White. Bijan Robinson. I think he's the only rookie in the top 10. And then you got David Montgomery in 9. Brian Robinson Jr. routed. Is he a rookie? No, second year. Third year. Second year. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Josh Jacobs, last year's running back, or was the NFL's leading rusher in number 11 spot there. All right, Jay. Wide receivers. Number 1 in fantasy. This is like easier than the CMC. Come on.
Number 1 receiver
in scoring fantasy, and it's not even close. He is ahead. He averages 17.4 points per game in fantasy football. He's got 225.7 total fantasy points. The next closest is 187.7.
Some would say he's the king of the hill.
Not Stephon Diggs. King of the hill. God, that still doesn't help me.
It's literally the name he just gave you.
Fast as a cheetah.
Say what?
Fast as a cheetah.
Fast as a cheetah.
I'd love to get in. No, I wouldn't. I was going to say I'd love to get in your brain for one day just to see what's firing.
I don't have a clue.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
he literally said the guy's last name.
King of the. I was thinking King. See,
and that's with him only getting 6.1 points in Week 14 when he has the ankle injury. 225.7 points, almost 40 points more than the next highest scoring fantasy football wide receiver. Who is that?
I don't know.
Number two on the list.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore is 6. Great guess.
All right. So 2. It can't be Justin Jefferson no more.
It's not. No, Justin Jefferson
was putting up like 30 a game when he first started.
Yeah, he's not even. He's so far down there because he's been out for so many games now.
CD Lamb.
Bingo. See, I can't give David hints because he'll get it instantaneously.
Yeah.
The third one's a little bit surprising. 170.9 total points.
Deebo Samuel?
No. Deebo missed a couple games.
Yeah.
But he is Brandon. Debo's actually at number 9. Brandon Ayuk's at number 12. There's 12th. DK Metcalf is.
So it's not number.
He's 14.
So then Mike Evans.
No, he is top 5 though. He's number 5. That's why I said this is a surprising one because of how bad they've been projected. They got a great defense. The hints are going to give it for him.
Dallas has great defense.
Yeah, but CD Lamb was number 2.
Oh, AJ. No. I mean, they do have a great defense over there as well.
Oh, Philadelphia. AJ Brown's number 4. So we got the top 6 except number 3. I'd be a little surprised. And yeah, you got DJ. His quarterback can't point anymore because he might have broke his finger.
Keenan?
Yes, Keenan Allen is number 3 with 170.9, averaging 13.1. And it's mainly because he had a couple big weeks because he hadn't been doing anything the last 3 weeks. But he's currently 3rd in total fantasy points scored in the wide receiver category. So Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Keenan Allen, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, Jamar Chase coming in at number 7, Stephon Diggs at number 8, Deebo Samuel at number 9. Who's number 10? Throw out a receiver. Brandon Ayuk's number 12 or 12th. God, I can't stop saying that. Puka Nacua is at 11. Name a receiver on the Detroit Lions.
I can't help you.
Come on.
See, this is what we're doing is we're educating you as well. We're preparing you for the 2024 fantasy football draft.
Right.
That's really the whole point of this exercise.
Yeah.
Come on, Ra.
Who?
I don't know.
He said, come on, brah.
Brah?
I'm on Ross St. Brown. Do you even know who that is?
I do.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Wide receiver for the Detroit Lions and having a great year, that's for sure. All right, we'll do a couple more. We got the tight end position. Despite not having massive weeks, despite not scoring more than 10 points since week 7, this tight end is still leading the league by only 0.3, leading fantasy tight end scores by 0.3 points. And that is?
Kittle.
No, he's 2nd.
Oh, Kittle's 2. So, all right. I think I know who number 1 is.
His Conrad is my boyfriend.
Oh, Kelce.
There you go. Yeah. Travis Kelce is still leading by 0.3 points, total fantasy points scored. And like you said, George Kittle's number 2. Number 3 and 4 both either have played for Detroit or play for Detroit.
Gotcha.
We'll skip you because this is tight
ends. T.J. Hawkinson at 3 then, and that would make Sam Laporte at 4.
Bingo. And this is a wild one. Number 5 tight end scores. Just want to test David.
Jonnu Smith.
No, not Jonnu Smith.
Okay.
You don't really think of him as a tight end because he's not just a tight end.
So Kyle Pitts? No, ain't no way Kyle Pitts is
Kyle Pitts is 13.
You don't think of him as a tight end.
Because he plays multiple positions. They put him as an athlete on the depth chart, but they put him in tight end for where he can.
Oh, Taysom.
Yep, Taysom Hill, 5th out of all eligible tight ends in total fantasy points scored. He gets a lot of carries at the goal line. That's why, Jay Henley. Are you remembering this stuff for when we draft next year?
Oh, yeah.
That's only going to be like a million days. It's basically as many days as many lessons as you do in 1 year is how many sleeps you'll have before then.
1,500 sleeps.
1,500 sleeps. He takes a little nappy do every now and then.
I do.
A little recliner nap.
Oh, yeah.
Does it get better than the recliner nap?
No, it does not.
Peak napping?
You gotta download the YouTube AC fan app. Just get that little noise going. Boom, done.
You could just
gone.
have a fan too.
Yeah, you could, but I like the YouTube noise.
I like the YouTube noise. I'd rather have the fan without the the functionality.
Well, this time of year,
I can't. No,
you can't use the fan going because it blows cold air.
Nope. You're either using the fan every time you sleep, or you're not. There's no you turn it off because it's cold. You control the temperature in your place.
I'm using YouTube. Use YouTube.
I will say this though. When we travel and we're sleeping at a hotel or something like that, I use a fan noise on one of the apps.
Yeah, that's what the YouTube fan noise.
YouTube.
Yeah,
that means you're streaming YouTube the entire night. Interesting.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, if you got your fan, it doesn't matter. We still got the fans on going. Just make sure before you put on another blanket.
Now you're supposedly supposed to reverse them in the wintertime, right? Where they go,
or you can just clean the fan.
I think that's just when you go to Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Flush the toilet too.
Yeah, it's supposed to take your ceiling fan with you.
Who's the number one kicker? Go.
Jay Feely.
He's not even in the league anymore.
Yes.
Dustin Hopkins.
Second, God, he's so good at this. Brandon Aubrey, the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah, because he had the 60 and the 59.
Oh, yeah, he scored 22 points last week.
Golly.
Wild. He's a former soccer, but he never kicked in college.
No kidding.
He's leading the league. Just to show you can convert. Last but not least, on the defensive side, Jay Henley, who scored the most fantasy points this year?
Dallas Cowboys.
Bingo.
Yeah.
We'll end on a high note. Baltimore Ravens second, Colts third, Bills fourth, Browns fifth. So, yeah, good. You got one.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
You leave him on the bench and trade Derrick Henry.
Well, that's a different league.
It doesn't matter.
I know. It's all
compounding decisions.
Compounding
That's
interest.
it.
It's
Yeah.
not good stuff. We appreciate you tuning in to the Inside Drive. Afternoon Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m. Coach James Hale Show will be back here live at 7 a.m. on your ESPN Northwest Florida. 3 great local shows. Make sure you tune in. Go watch it live. Share it. Do all that good stuff. Jay, give us one word to go out on.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Yep.
There you go. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see y'all tomorrow.